Greetings, Sophisticated Intuition here. Today, I just wanted to stop by because I think I mentioned this to the collective at the very beginning of the year that this year, 2022, was going to be a year of preparation. So, what that feels like or what that looks like is, elevation, growth, a lot of reclusive moments for some. For others, we're all on different timelines, so it's going to look different for everybody. Well, for me, I am in the peak of the season of preparation. I just know that by the experiences that I'm having, and they're wonderful experiences. So I felt like it's a good time to kind of reflect. It's August, right? We're nearing towards the latter part of the year, and so it's a good time to just review where you're at, where you've grown, perhaps even what you need to let go of, or where you still need growth, right? I told one of my clients, or a couple of my clients actually, that it's time to like go back, read through your vision boards or your whiteboards that you wrote down your intentions on, find out what's been completed, take it off the list, and write something new or write a whole new vision, right? So that's where we're at. So I wanted to stop in today and just kind of share my thoughts, my perspective on the areas that I have found growth. And I have my notes here, y'all, because there's no way I can recall all of this when I'm doing this. I get a little nervous. I'm camera shy. That's one of the reasons why I stopped doing the vlog, because it's not true to who I am. I don't like that kind of attention. A lot of people will be like, what, when I say the next statement, but I don't like to be on social media. Like, I really don't. And it's been a constant challenge for me, because just like all the rest of us, it's a place where you can share and you can get things off of your chest, right? You can connect with your family and your friends. It's all of that. And then for me, it's also a place for me to promote what's going on with sophisticated intuition and engage the community and the collective. So it's really challenging for me to go back to that place where I'm able to just completely deactivate and stay offline. And then you have the dopamine factor. So it's definitely a stimulant for me. So I'm working on that. It's a challenge. But it is true that I really, if I wanted to withdraw myself from all of the promotion of sophisticated intuition, I would deactivate my social media accounts in a heartbeat, and people would just be wondering where's sophisticated. But I can't do that to my collective and to those who have been faithful and committed, and look forward to hearing the insight and the wisdom that I come on and share from time to time. So here I am today, and just kind of in a reflective moment of the energies that I work with, and the lessons and or secrets of the universe that have been shared with me through doing my work, my shadow work and self-love and things like that. So I just want to share that with you all. I know, again, like I said, we're all in different places. We have those who are just being initiated into their spirituality. We have traditional Christians who just need answers, who have questions. There's every level that comes to sophisticated. At least that's my experience with my personal clients. There's every level. And then using or utilizing these platforms, I know that people from all around the world, I've actually connected with clients at a great distance from me. And so thank you. Shout out to Canada and India. I love you guys so much. But I'm here to kind of just help along the way. That's what I've kind of identified that my purpose is. I didn't go to YouTube University or Facebook Community College to gain the knowledge and the wisdom that has been downloaded or integrated into my lifestyle. I didn't do that. I was experiencing a spiritual awakening, right? So what I have learned is that we all have that same experience, but it may come in a different sequence. So let me elaborate on that. I seen signs and synchronicities, right? 111, 222, 1111, constantly. Constantly. It was like, what is going on? Right? So then you go to Google, that's Google Elementary. Go to Google Elementary, type it in. What's going on with these numbers? Why am I repeatedly seeing these numbers? Explanation. Okay. All right. Sounds cool. All right, moving on. Next thing. All right, all these butterflies. Every time I look up, it's a butterfly. This one came in my face. Why am I seeing butterflies? Google Elementary shares with me why. Okay, and then as I progress into my spiritual awakening, I stopped using Google Elementary and I start looking for credible resources and literature. And there is no shade to the platforms: YouTube University, Facebook Community College. There are highly intelligent light beings, philosophers, educators that are utilizing this platform. So do not knock it. Yes, there are imposters. Yes, there are people who don't know anything about anything because they're only coming to um, the YouTube universities to utilize the information that someone else has told them and not going to know it for themselves by researching and studying. So I'm glad to be here and share my experience. I don't know everything, but I did take the time out to study and get to know myself and get to know history, heritage, and better understand the practices, the rituals, and everything that it is that I am embodying and that embodies me these days. I need to know, okay? Most of you know I'm a Sagittarius, so truth seeker all day long. It has to be validated for me. When they first came out with the fact check thing on these platforms, I was like, yeah, please do, because I need to know. So anyways, let's try not to be here too long. I want to stick to the point. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I definitely withdrew from doing like the vlog part of Sophisticated. So every now and then when the spirit inclines me, and now is a time because I know that I'm being prepared for my next ascension. I even heard the new energies. Like, so I kind of did, when I do these, I always kind of like do a test record. And then when I go back and listen, I'm like, ooh, okay. And this time I actually probably could have completed in the test record. It was all right. But I had to run out. So in coming back, or while I was out, I received the message of what the next energies that I will be working with. So I'll speak to that afterwards at the very end. Okay. But I'm in a place of ascension or preparation for ascension. And so now it's time to kind of just reflect, review over what I learned in the energies that I worked with. So, what am I talking about? For those of you who follow me and are committed, you know that I have four main energies that I work with, which is prosperity and abundance, protection, love, and healing. That's out the gate. Those are the four major energies. Anything that I'm doing, any light work that I'm doing, any candle blending that I'm doing, any gemstones that I'm blending up, anything like that. When I'm delivering messages, those are my focuses in order to give you the guidance and the insight. And those were the energies that the message that I received, that was what I needed to share with the collective. And so we may all be preparing to elevate and ascend into the new energies that I will discuss at the end of this little video here. But I'm going to start with prosperity and abundance. Okay. And I really hope that you can take something away from this. I'm terrible at this, so there's some rambling going on, but I'm going to do my best to get the message to you and stick to the points. Okay. So bear with me. I have notes, and so I'm going to have to look down away from the camera. But prosperity and abundance. Okay. What was my experience with that? So I lost everything. And I mean, everything down to zero, ground zero. Okay, for those of you who follow the cards, tower moment. Okay, lost everything all at the same time. because you know sometimes we experience a loss. We can lose family to death. We can lose friends to life. You can be short on your funds. All these little things, and they come in spurts, and you deal with it, right? But when all of that happens all at one time, it can be a lot on one person. And so it required me to like really, really like dig deep into my faith, okay, and to just trust the divine. But what was funny is that when I went to prayer, right, when I went to go ask why, God, why, God said, I'm going to need you to give of yourself. And I was like, but God, I have nothing. Like, I have nothing to give. I have nothing to offer anyone. He was like, yeah, you do. And I need you to give of yourself. Okay. So every opportunity that I had to give of myself, even in lack, I did it. And so that is a part of the experience that I learned. And I know I'm talking about prosperity and abundance, and the experience was losing everything. Or what's the lesson, or what's the secret, right? The short form, charity equals prosperity. Okay. Oh, I love it. It's raining. It's a Friday night and it's pouring down raining, and look at me. Yes, let me get through this. Um, if you're only happy with materials, there's a possibility you're not getting in them gates. I'm not going to go through scripture tonight because we'll be here all night. But there is scripture about that, and it's a very known scripture. So if you read the Bible, then you're aware. If not, go to Google Elementary about prosperity. And I think you could probably find it just by looking up that Bible prosperity, because I think that scripture, the prosperity preachers use it often. Okay, so the lesson again, charity equals prosperity. So give of yourself, give out of lack. That doesn't, we're not talking about your materials or your money. That's not what I'm talking about. What are you good at? What do you have? Do you just have a kind word? Do you have a smile? See, because I was I was down and out, man. I had nothing and nobody. And God said, smile at that man crossing the street right there. He had a bad day. I don't want to smile at him. I had a bad day. Right? At the simplest form, at the most minute, mundane form, give of yourself. Um, be careful not to be taken advantage of, right? But charity is prosperity. Okay. Like I said, if you're only happy with materials, there's a possibility you're not getting in them gates. So, what do I mean by that? You know, that's for the MOE crew right there. Money over everything. Grind, grind, grind. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get it. No sleep. I'm working until I'm gone. You know, whatever, they bury me with my money. Like, I'm here to tell you that that's the spirit of greed. Okay, and you're never gonna have enough. So even if you reach millions or whatever your goal is, you're never gonna have enough, because you're gonna maintain the spirit of greed if you don't transcend that. So what I would encourage you to do, and I'm speaking from experience, okay, there was a time in my life where all I did was work almost 24/7, months and months and months, for 8 years total. Um, and I still had lack. And then I lost everything. Now, this is my experience, but I've also observed in the collective the same things happening, and as well as there's literature about it. The Tao Te Ching, you know, for those of you who follow, you know that that's like is written. Okay, it's right there with the Bible written on my fleshy tables in my heart, because it resonated so much in a time where I needed it. So that is an ancient philosopher, Lao Tzu, or Lao Tzu. I never pronounce it correctly, so forgive me. But the Tao Te Ching has so many gems and jewels in there, and I really encourage you to listen to that, especially if you're in a place of lack, because it speaks about the fact that in order for you to have everything, you gotta lose it all, right? So there's that. But if your mindset is grind all the time, and money over everybody and money over everything, that is a spirit of greed, and you're never going to have enough. No matter what you do, if you reach your goal, then you're going to want more and more and more and more. So you need to transcend that, or I would encourage you to transcend that mentality by acknowledging that materials and money are energy. Okay, and it flows in and out like breath. Money in and out like breath. Okay. um so that is one of the lessons secrets, or that's some of the lessons secrets that I've learned about prosperity and abundance. And I will tell you that by transcending that grind mentality, that hustle mode, that I have lacked nothing. Okay, I have been strong. I'm not gonna go through like how long I've been uh, in awareness and so on and so forth. What I would say is that the peak of my enlightenment, the breakthrough, the birth of me, of sophisticated, was approximately about 5, maybe almost 7 years ago, technically, but full aware 5 years ago. And since then, I have lacked nothing. Nothing, because I transcended the spirit of greed. So I encourage you to do that. Okay. All right, we're gonna move forward here. Um, Protection. All right, so this one might get a little weird for some folks, but I'm gonna talk about it because I can only talk about it from my experience, and then, it may be foretelling for some of you. But for me, protection, it came as I opened myself up to the spirit realm. Okay, so some of you who are viewing this know me very well, have known me all my life, and know that I was a scary cat. Okay, I didn't go to my own family's funerals. I tiptoed around the graveyard. Like, you wouldn't catch me. You don't catch me watching any scary movies. Now that's an energy, so I still don't do that. I'm not welcoming that in my home. So I don't do that. But now I go and I sit and have, I have to sit down now when I go to visit my grandfather at the cemetery. Like, I can't stand up and tiptoe. Like, I need to sit. It's a sacred place, and I'm not going to get into all of that because the spirit is not resting there, right? Just that flesh, the bone, at this point, ash and dust. But it's still a very sacred place where your loved ones can come and be in your presence and you and theirs uninterrupted. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But protection, right? I was terrified. I was terrified of the spirit realm, of the unknown, of the unseen. And so through meditation really was the method for me, because when you go into meditation, you don't know, it's similar to a hypnosis, right? So you don't know what's going to happen when you go into a state of subconscious, unconscious, and allow, especially because I prefer the guided meditation, allow someone else to essentially just guide you through, or I always want to say, because I don't want to freak anybody out about meditation, but it's almost a taking over of your mind, because I feel like my higher self takes over when I go into meditation, and it guides me through to bring my mind to calmness, to bring my mind to awareness, whatever the meditation might be. So meditation was huge in terms of my ascension and protection. But when I found out, or when I knew that I had a, I don't want to use overuse words, but once I realized that protection had been mastered, I was at a metaphysical store. This was maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I was at a metaphysical store, and a woman went to grab some liquid, and that liquid should have spilled forward and shot right at me, and it leaked right over my head. Like, I wish that I would have thought to ask her, the metaphysical clerk, for the security camera Like, could you like send me a copy of that? Because when it happened, this is the metaphysical story, y'all. Gemstones, candles, tarot cards, all that, all of it, okay? Where nothing should be of surprise when you see something such as liquid leaping over somebody's head. But the clerk was like, and the woman who wasted the liquid was like, "Oh, you are really protected." And I was just like internally like freaking out, like, "Oh my God, did they?" It was people who seen that, and I just said thank you, and went on about my business, kept on doing my shopping. But it really was spirit saying to me, and I don't remember exactly what I had been doing spiritually. I know I had been taking on a lot of clients at that time, but I think that it was just a moment where spirit needed to communicate to me how protected I was. I know we were in the middle of COVID, right? And I've never caught it, guys. I've never caught COVID. I've never had one symptom. And so, anywho, it was a message from spirit directly to me to let me know that I had transcended, that I had mastered protection. Now, there's still some things that are unexplainable about protection from the unseen realm, right? Um, but what I did take away from it is that sometimes you gotta go through your fears to get to your faith. Okay, and I had a few examples of that, but that was one that I wanted to use. So do it scared. Okay, that's the secret of the universe. Do it scared. Whatever it is, do it scared. Okay, and walk in a disciplined life of obedience to whatever your faith is. So we have the 10 Commandments for traditional Christianity, right? We have the laws of the universe. We have the 5 precepts for the monks, the Buddhists, and we have the 5 pillars for the Islam community. Like, whatever that is for you, when I tell you, be obedient to it. For me, I've studied these 5 faiths, and so I've embodied all of it. And that for me, I know Spirit pretty much clarified that is just because I have to speak to the collective, and that means I need to be able to embrace everyone, and that's a beautiful thing. Like, I love that, but that's not for everybody. Some people need to follow that one faith, and that's the direction that they're headed in, and that's your path. So whatever that is, whatever your laws, commandments, precepts, or pillars are, follow them to the T. Follow them to the T, and that ushers in a level of protection from the divine. Okay, that's a secret from the universe. Okay, where am I? Let's see. Did I miss anything on protection? No. Love. Ooh, okay. So this one gets a little bit lengthy, but I'll try to stick to the point here. So, what was my experience in love? Specifically romance, but also friendships, right? So, at the same time when I lost everything, the man that I was in love with also like broke my heart devastatingly. Like, it was terrible, right? But in addition to that, I'm going through all of this, and my best friend also is being called back into her faith. And her faith happens to be Jehovah's Witness. So, although my best friend has a very open mind and open heart, and we love each other dearly, for some of you, you may know that the Jehovah's Witness prefer to just, not really have a lot of outsiders. And for her, it was so important for her to get reinstated. And so we had to put a bit of distance between us. And because of that distance, we kind of just like fell, to the wayside in our relationship and our connection. And I'm sure it'll circle back later. We still reach out to one another, but we're not as close as we once were. And so at a time in my life where everything seems to be going straight to hell and weird things are happening, and I need the person who is my confidant, the divine removes her, sends her on her path, which she's doing really well, while I go on mine. Okay, so when I speak about love, I'm not only talking about romantic relationships. I know that's our primary focus a lot of the times, but love is just love. So my heart was broken in like 50 different ways, all at once, right? And in my experience, what I tried to do was just continue to love on others, right? Continue to be kind, continue to be compassionate, because what it made me realize is that you don't, you, I mean, I've always been aware of that, but you really don't know what people are going through or how many losses they're experiencing. So I made a conscious effort to be love at all times, and I wanted to understand what love was like. What is that, and am I doing it right? Right. So that was a mission of mine, and that's why love is so important to me. That I'll never forget. I got into a really heated dispute with one of my children, adult, um, and I was telling him like, I'm gonna be love. Like, I'm not gonna give you back that same energy. I'm gonna be love no matter what. I'm gonna be love. I'm not gonna, I can get triggered and my buttons get pushed. I'm human, folks. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be love. I'm never gonna be vengeful. Oh my god, I can't even say it. Vengeful. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm not coming for revenge. I don't have any ill intent in my heart. um I just try to be love at all times. I think the worst side of me really is road rage. If you ever been in the car with me, like, oh, people get on my nerves in the car, and I'd have to catch myself because I don't want to put too much bad karma out there in the things that I say and do when I'm in my moment of road rage. But outside of that, I always, no matter how someone treats me, I give them back love. Because we got a lot of I'm a black woman in America. Okay, so we got a lot of racists out there. I don't give them back that same energy. I give them back love, because I want to show them that whatever they think of me is wrong. Okay, and prove you wrong. Right. So, and I'm just going to be love. I'm always going to be love at all times. People hurt me, they do me wrong, and I just give love back. And let me tell you something, the secret to the universe of that, because I see people get frustrated with people, and I used to do that in my youth. Like, every time I do something for somebody, but ain't nobody here for me, right? Don't do that, baby. Don't do that. Just be love. Be love wholeheartedly, pure, with no motive or intention to receive anything in return. Just be pure love. That's what God is. Just be pure love. And it takes time to get here. It takes time to get here. It took me a lot of time to get here. But what I know is that because that's the way my heart operates, and that's my intention at all times, all the love that I put out, I always receive back. Always. Always. It comes in different forms and it comes from different people, but it always comes back. So at all times, try to be love. Um, oh yes. The beautiful thing about or something that I received out of operating from love is that I, like I said, had a lot of loss, and including my best friend. Well, I actually um, adopted, I guess you will, a circle of friendships, and some of them have become very, some of them are like my repeat clients. Okay, so thank you for that, ladies. I love you. And some of you are like my closest friend and family. So all that loss had purpose, right? What do we say? There's purpose in the pain. So if you're experiencing these things, hold tight, okay? Um, get into a mode of, I feel like what my strength was that I wanted more knowledge. So go into a truth seeking mentality, and I think that it brings a sense of peace. Whatever you're experiencing, learn more about it. Get into groups. You might meet people that may help. For me, it wasn't like getting into any like social groups or anything. It just, I had an invite somewhere, and it just took off from there. But that was definitely a bonus and a plus, and it tells me that I've transcended Man, the joy in my heart, like I've transcended the energy of love or ascended into a new level of love because now I have a circle of friendships in which I used to be well, I won't say used to be, I'm still introverted, but very much a loner. And I even take I like to travel, and so I like to take trips solo, and I still like to do that because I still like my time to myself. But even since, like, I've taken group trips and whatever, it's a good time. So that's very much a sign that I have ascended or transcended the energy of love, right? um I'm up there, y'all. And I say that with no ego. I really do. I mean that, no ego. Like, I got a lot of love to give still. I got a lot of love to give still. So I'm here for you. You know what I mean? um Healing. Okay, so this one's gonna be short. I feel like I missed something in or I should say that. Okay, so yeah, in terms of family, like, I'm really distant with my actual family. So I want to be, I want to be transparent with the collective. I'm very distant with my actual family. Part of it is because of I chose spirituality and they're traditional Christians, right? But the other part of it is just things that we experienced in my childhood that just kind of separated that. But I'm working through some of those wounds, and that's a part of the preparation that's happening this year. And I just want to, I know there's going to be quite a few of my, I'm going to share this on both of my platforms. I got two, y'all. I told you I do not like social media. So but I'm going to share it on both of my platforms, and I know that some of them will see. So I just want to tell you how much I love you, family. And I'm talking to my relatives, okay, that have supported me through this, because there is a shocking number of you that have reached out for messages, or just, wanted a couple of gemstones, whatever. You supported, where there has been distance, and many wounds that need to be healed. And most of you weren't necessarily a part of it. Some of you were a part of that experience. And so I just want to tell you that I love you, and that I look forward to whatever comes of the reconnection and reconciliation. So that has also been a part of the ascension in love. So I need to say that, because I think oftentimes I'm very professional when I come out, or however we get the messages, I try to be as professional as possible, and I failed to mention that I love you, family. So I want to get that out right now. All right, healing. Okay. If you're just coming in, yeah, I'm talking about me, but I'm sharing my experiences because the number one thing that I have observed is that whatever I've gone through, there's three somebodies who have also gone through it, and could use an inspirational word or some wisdom. So I hope that this helps someone, and if it doesn't help you, share it, and maybe it helps someone that you know. Because a lot of times, a lot of what I was going through, I was silent. Nobody knew. And so, and there are some people who I think I manage my mental health very well, even before I came into meditation, and drinking teas, and the herbalists, utilizing herbs to, like, calm myself. Before I came into any of that knowledge and understanding of how to align myself, I think I manage my mental health very well. But I think that there are people out there are folks out in the collective that struggle or have challenges, and will go through things in silence, including your spiritual awakening, which oftentimes causes a spirit of depression, because there are times where you have to be isolated, because the divine needs to get you by yourself in order for you to completely receive. So it can be quite lonely, and everyone doesn't process that very well. So if this is not helping you, share it with somebody who you think it might help. Okay, now I think I just transcended healing. All right. So healing. I'm going to be brief with this one. Why? Because healing is an ongoing process. Okay. And just this year for me, some wounds, I keep saying wounds because I think it's time for me to do my steam. Anyways, that's wounds. Okay. I realized that there were some wounds that still were like buried deep, or I thought they had scabbed over and were about to like just be a scar, but they were still very present. And sometimes you don't know that until it's triggered, right? So um finding that out, I realized that I still have work to do in healing. So that energy will all of these energies will always be energies that I work with, but I'll be talking about it shortly. I didn't write it down because I was driving, so hopefully I can recall it to my mind right now. um but when you're in the process of healing, what's the secret, right? I'm trying to articulate this properly, because I feel like I said, healing is a continual process. And I feel like what I've been observing recently, because yes, I was triggered by some things, but I have all these method tools. I know what to do to push through. But I'm watching the collective. A lot of people have had a lot of losses, and I mean in like loved ones loss, grief, um, and struggling with that. And no one can tell you that what healing is personal. So that's why I feel like you can come to me as a priestess, and I'm going to give you the insight and the wisdom, and I'm going to speak life and positivity and truth. Sometimes for me, it's a little bit blunt and direct, so it can come out as a harsh truth, but I'm definitely going to try to elevate you and bring you to a place of ascension where you can, take the reins. I'm gonna hold your hand as long as I can, but I can't hold your hand forever. But the healing process is personal. Whatever it is that's hurting you, that broke you, that almost made you lose your faith, that's personal. And use the tools and use the resources and reach out, but it's your responsibility, and you've got to take accountability for forgiving yourself and forgiving other people for whatever the hurt, harm that has come into your life that build up walls and um, sent you into complete isolation. And I'm not talking about the spiritual awakening isolation. I'm talking about you just don't even come outside no more. Or worse, you're hurt, so you're hurting other people. Um, Anger, um, different emotions, right? All of these things. So there's just so much that goes into healing, that it is a continual process of evolution. And sometimes just when you thought you had it, here you go again. Okay? And I can always tell for myself and for others when they're not healed, because there's this level of anxiety. There's a breath that happens when they're talking about something that's still kind of all right. So healing is continual. That's what the secret from the universe is about healing. Um, okay, I think I covered all of that. So now I want to just, tell you all where I feel like the divine is guiding me. This is kind of, we're getting towards the end of the year, so I probably won't speak too much more about it until the new year. Still deciding how I'm going to communicate and connect with the collective right now. YouTube University works. Facebook Community College is helpful, so I'm gonna keep on pushing there. But moving forward, some energies that I want to work with: peace, light. Um, Darn, there was another one. So stay tuned for that, because right now it just kind of like left my mind. I just went through all of this stuff, and so I don't know, guys. I don't want to speak anything into existence, but I there may be some early Alzheimer's happening. I be forgetting stuff. That's it. Thank you, Spirit. Peace, light, intention, and love is always going to be in the mix. Peace, light. Aha. Almost forgot. Thank you. That's so important because that's where I am right now. Right now. Peace, light, love, intention, and respect. Respect. So I wanted to talk about that just a little bit, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Um, I've got a ways to go in my ascension in respect, but most importantly, just like self-love, self-respect is key. And when I thought about respect, I thought about rice and the preparation of rice. I only know one method. If there's other methods, please share it with me. I didn't go on Google Elementary to find out, but for me to prepare rice, I need to boil it in water. That's the best way, or at least that's the most common way to prepare rice, right? There needs to be some water or liquid involved because you could use a broth. Water or the liquid that you brew that rice in, that's the respect. The rice is the love. They're required in order for it to come out to a satisfying, delicious bowl of rice. So this might not have been the most articulated message for you all today, but it was some thoughts that needed to be shared, and I know it's going to help someone. So the focus moving forward into 2023 is going to be peace, light, intention, love, and respect. 5 of them, y'all. We're moving in. So I hope that this was helpful, beneficial to anyone who's going through their awakening, enlightenment. I really, I wanted to kind of do it in a series, but then I just decided, you know what, just put it all out there, wrap it up, because I need to do my work. And that is so important. Like I said at the very beginning, we have folks out here, you speak the language, you know, it's a vibe, tap in, because it sounds, you know, cool and it's trending, but ultimately you haven't done the work. So I encourage you to do the work, and I hope that some of what I've shared here tonight about my process of ascension, now this is not the whole story, not even a little bit. This is mostly for those who have been with me along the way, and just to kind of give you, you know, where we're going next. But otherwise, I really encourage you to do the work. You know, learn how to love yourself, learn how to respect yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, find out what you don't like, try to work on it, and if you can't fix it, then learn how to love that about yourself. You know, follow the commandments, the pillars, the principles, the laws of the universe, and be in obedience so that with the divine and the universe, so that you are in full alignment for protection. Love on everybody unapologetically, no matter how they treat you. Don't give it back. Give them back love every time, and I guarantee you it's gonna come back to you. It's gonna come back to you, and they're gonna be confused. They're gonna be confused. Love on them no matter what. Healing is continual. Take your time and be patient with yourself as you process the wounds that you have experienced in your life, as you ascend to a higher level. Thank you, collective. Thank you, community. Love and light.